this is my topic. I'm basically saying that the problem with cancer is that it's hard to create a medicine that kills the cancer without killing the normal cells that you need. And if we apply this metaphor to Iran, let's say the blockade is effective, but the resulting inflation is causing job loss, food insecurity, and hopelessness. Arming the people would exponentially increase the cost of suppressing them, but it's hard to get weapons to the right people and to train them without exposing them as targets. So I'm not being critical of these tactics. I think, like chemotherapy, I'm very hopeful that with time and pressure, they will pan out. But in the meantime, I think we should maybe be trying to generate new ideas that potentially have different dynamics, because we constantly feel very boxed in by our current options. And so my question to you is, what is the dumbest idea you have to help people overthrow the IRGC? And when I say dumb, I mean, what idea do you have that you're not talking about because you fear criticism for even suggesting it? And I just want to give you some of my dumb ideas quickly. How about training a security force among the Iranian diaspora and other volunteers that can carry out operations outside the current political boundaries of the allied forces, and incentivize them with future citizenship and other rewards in a free Iran? Or how about using Ukrainian ground robots with air support to try and draw out and test the effectiveness of IRGC ground forces in places like Khuzestan? So finally, this
Say that
question of
again. Say that last thing. So training this Iranian diaspora. What was this after one? Because I'm trying to write.
after that is using Ukrainian ground robots. These are like these not humanoid, but they're rolling machine gun platforms and other types of rolling robotic vehicles, basically, to try and draw out and test the effectiveness of IRGC ground forces in places like Khuzestan, which would be the most southwest province in Iran. And then finally, this question of what is your dumbest idea is important, because these smart new ideas come from the sort of cloud formation of ideas that seem dumb at first, but may contain this kernel of insight that we never discover because we don't talk about it. And so whether it's today or next week or whatever, I just want to say I'm really interested in these sort of out of the box, what I'm calling dumb, but I don't think are actually dumb ideas. So that's all.
Okay, so I'm actually interested. That's a very interesting question, and I'm really interested to see what other people have to say. The problem with my so-called dumb ideas is that if I say them, it's not about embarrassments. It's about I will lose my channel immediately. So if I told you what I'm thinking right now, I don't think I will have a YouTube channel. I think it will not last an hour. So
Can you talk about it as if it's in my video game like Minecraft, maybe?
okay, let me just tell you this. It involves regime officials and Iranian people, and it requires Iranian people going for a visit to certain people's homes. Okay, but I'm not going to elaborate in detail what I'm talking about. Okay, that's I think I thought about the operations of detailed. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, right? Because it gets very ugly. What I have in mind gets very ugly. So that's what I have in mind. But yeah, I'll let other people respond. But for you can understand for why I don't get into details regarding that, and the reason why I don't share that often, right? All right, so let's go. But I saw a bunch of twos in the chat. By the way, guys, I hope your ideas are not like mine, because we're streaming on YouTube. but let's see what you guys have to say. All right.
No endorsing violence. Jeffrey, you're first.
Yeah, Ian, those aren't dumb ideas. Those are awesome ideas. Both are being pursued. The idea of training members of the broader anti-mullah and Persian diaspora and then turning them into hunter-killer squads and or anti-death squads, that already developed and sent up the chain. So we looked at of the Iranians, of Americans and Canadians of Iranian descent of their overall population, I shared some of this with Ali and Armin. You could easily get 20,000 easily of Iranian men between 18 and 35 that have never been married. They don't have any children or spouses that could be targeted or present operational security issues. It'd take about 8 months to train them. That goes through like basic AIT, airborne ranger school, and then some other stuff similar to what you'd see, say, what we did with Contras and or what Ukrainians did with anti-Assad forces in Syria. Cost about 7.9 billion, and then you'd have 158 companies of 128 men of lawful unconventional combatants. You have to follow some other like laws and things have to happen at the executive and legislative level too. And then you would disperse them throughout like Iran, key areas in Iran that I'm not going to say, and they would become counterinsurgents and or hunter-killer teams and anti-death squads that would actively hunt down and eliminate the IRGC and besieged remnants, particularly ideally after a mass strike takes out all their stuff. As far as like leveraging weaponized drone swarms at both the air and or ground level, that's also being pursued. That's why indeed a lot of people keep reaching out to Ukrainian defense forces, particularly for things like long-range strike munitions like flamingos. Both very cool ideas. As far as Arvid's concerned, a lot of people have had that idea, right? A lot of people. And those motherfuckers deserve it, especially for what they did in the past week, man.
Next is Sketch.
Just crazy ideas. You would need to tag these people. If you play tag, I don't know if you would tag with some kind of paint on roofs, if you would tag their cars with some kind of invisible. Yeah, I think there's lots of ways to tag people. In America, we use these air tags from Apple, but anything you could put on a car and tag it, that would be great. If you can find tags, way to tag people, way to tag their vehicles, way to tag locations where they enter and exit, just something you can throw down and tag it, that would work. I don't know how they would get the tags. That might be like a problem. But tagging, having elements, and I would imagine this already happens if you have what you call, if you have deltas in the area, if you have covert ops in the area, like wet work people around, they would have some. Not everyone in wet works is a hunter killer. You have some people that are it's just a mild mannered lady that just points you in the right direction. And she looks 70 and you think nothing of her, but she's dropping something in there that's gonna show where you are, and someone else is gonna pick you up. So if anybody in the area that would cause no suspicion and would start tagging these people, I know that guy, and start tagging and giving information. Information is a weapon of war. So tagging people, tagging locations. I would love to know where these the rogue 32 commanders are that are shooting down every deal. Those names are names I'd like to see more out there. That kind of thing is something that I would support.
Sketch, you know who would know? The local. That would make my idea also work with your idea, because you know who would know who these people are and where they live and where they sleep. The local people. These people cannot hide. Everybody knows. People watch their movements, right? And they know their faces and they report them. They get cited and all the time.
Those are their fingers in the pie, right? That's why Artesh isn't getting hit, because they probably got finger in one Artesh pie and they're probably bitter about it. So they're not on the bingo list as much. I think we're looking to turn them. So you would be looking at those crazy 32, and they're probably known and hated, as you said, because they got their fingers in so many pies.
Yep. Okay. Who's next? Ali? Am I next? I put a 2. I don't know if Ali is still here. Ali, are you with us? I think I was next. Yes, I'm next. All right, we're out of mods. Okay, yes. Okay, so one thing, guys, I know we're basically open with ideas, but I'm not trying to shut any ideas, but I think it's important to think about this. One thing that I see an issue when it comes to training the Iranian diaspora who have military experience to go to Iran, I'm not against it. I just think that it makes the assumptions that what's missing is enough manpower. Okay. But what's missing is the bottleneck. The bottleneck is getting weapons to the hands of enough Iranians, right? I'm sure if somebody in the diaspora who's trained is a very effective, would be effective, but it doesn't move the needle as much. The numbers that we're looking at requires training many people, that if you add the people that already have training to that number that is needed, is like a drop, like it's a drop in an ocean, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't welcome that. I'm just saying it's missing where the bottleneck is, right? And if we want this to be meaningful, we need to get into the tens of thousands and eventually hundreds of thousands number. And the number of people that we're talking about here that could be helpful would be in the hundreds number, and it doesn't get close to the number of people that we need to get to make a meaningful difference. So if we want to get armed Iranians, we actually have to think about a very effective vetting, training, and arming program. And even if we have some diaspora that have already been trained, we still haven't fixed the main bottleneck, which is getting the weapons into the hands of enough Iranians inside Iran in a scalable process.
All right, next I think is Hila, right?
Oh, Hila, okay.
Yes, I'm more like Armen. I'm a bit more solid and on the ground. I think as an Israeli citizen, I learned to leave the grown-up to do the hard work. And I don't think you should be worried about the hard work. Someone else, a grown-up, will do it for you. Nobody expects you to do the unbelievable. But I do think that the average person, the job he has is to do chaos in the right time. I'm sorry, I'm coming back to that, but that's
I love it.
that's the only thing you can do as a crowd, and Israel love it and knows it, and nobody expects you to be the front line. That's not. I don't think in any strategy, even not Plan D, you are supposed to be the front lines. So once the queue will come and you will see the queue, you will know that's the queue. You will have to go to the streets and not even riot, but just flood the streets. And also, I think you should be knowing a bit of Krav Maga. Krav Maga, it's not about attacking, it's defending. It's to know where the heat will come and to stop it from all direction. Maybe I can do a small video about just about awareness 360 degrees, 5-dimensional awareness. Maybe that alone, like some you practicing in the mirror about your blind spots, can be more powerful if everybody will just had that will be more helpful than it's more helpful and more realistic than us throwing guns next to a village of fighters. That's not.
I don't know if knowing that is going to help you against machine
I'm sorry,
guns.
my opinion. What?
I don't know if situational awareness. I don't know if it's going to help you against machine guns.
It's not going to help you against machine gun because it's not supposed to help you against machine guns. The people with the machine guns, people with the guns, the people who will hand over the guns, they will have training. There will be specific people, okay, that got the training already, and they will do this kind of operations, okay, and the drones and everything and technology and blah, blah. But the daily people, you'll need to be on the streets, just not dying. I don't know, some Basiji, some poser, some neighbor, they will come to you. You need to.
I think some of the main trainings that you need is how to treat a bullet wound. Okay, how to deal with tear
a bullet
gas.
wound? What is this?
A bullet wound, like when you if you see somebody get shot, like first aid.
Okay.
Like
got you.
Stuff.
Okay,
like
that's okay. Second video. Okay, 5 minutes of expert talking about first aid on battle, whatever.
Yeah,
We need a series of movies. Listen, after the first Iran, when they came back, the people here in the chat, there was a guy I remember from one of our conversation. He was talking a lot about him wanting to learn how to defend himself, just to have an extra spare courage on the street. And by the story he told, he already lost a lot.
So can I show you
So-
something? This is something
Yeah.
that me and Susanna did. I'll show you guys. A couple of years ago, we built this website. Okay, Operation Iranian Renaissance. This was years ago. Okay, and we created guides in PDF. This was me and Susanna. This is our website, Operation Iranian Renaissance. And then in Persian, for example, you have PDFs on what to do with bullet wounds, right? We made these guides in Persian and we handed it out. So this was like oh my god, this brings back memories. So look at this. And this was before AI, where you could just look these up and make things right for you. We did this without AI. So this was helpful. We basically spread this everywhere. And then because we thought we had a guide here, a 1-page PDF guide with the most important things you do when you go to an out protest. But Shiba Pushim, what to wear, what to do, what not to do, what to do against tear gas, what to bring with you, right? So, for example, a bottle of water, bring high calorie food with you, bring some cash with you. So, like that, if you go, what not to, don't put lotion on your face, don't put any form of, don't put any makeup or kerem is it duffed up. So, what is it? So, what is that? I forgot how to speak English. So, sunblock. Don't put sunblock. Yeah, sunscreen. Yes. Don't make sure you don't have lens in your eye. Don't put as mavudi mistake. Don't wear necklace. We talk about the type of shoes you should wear. We also go over make sure your clothes is not bright. It's not different from other people. Nothing branded. Nothing that stands out. What to do when you get hit by tear gas. So we actually verified all of this information with experts to make sure that we're giving the correct information. And yeah, so this was, and there's so many other guides there. We also basically showed people how to use everyday material to use as armor, to turn if they don't have specific glasses for tear gas, what type of swimming goggles they could buy to turn it into the equipment for tear gas, what to do when do you have, okay, so everything. That website has so much information under, and yeah, that was years ago. So I think we need more stuff.
So
like
it's
that.
good to refund it. Maybe it will come in handy now, and you need to refund
actually
it.
you're right. You're right, actually. You know what, I forgot about that. We should advertise that again. Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
I think it's important because I think when people will get the internet, if they will get it somehow, somebody can send it to them. I think it could be very helpful. Even if it will reach few people, it will be helpful a lot.
That's why we made, instead of making a web page of this, we made PDF formats of it so people could download it and send it around on Telegram and WhatsApp in file sizes that are very small that could be transferred between them without using so much data. So that's why when you go to the website, you don't see a web page, you see a PDF, so people could have it on their phone, on their computer, even when there's no internet.
All right. Next is Jose. Also, Armin, can you check your Telegram?
Oh, okay. Telegram. Oh, I have to. Shit.
Okay. I've already been told my idea is not a good idea because Armin has family living in Tehran. So I have a laugh, Armin. But the more I think about it, the more I think we need to understand that training is not enough. We have to make sure they actually have a chance. That's why I think if the bombardment happened, the 5-day bombardment, yeah, that'll help them a lot. But we need to make sure they actually have a fighting chance. That's all I had to say.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm distracted by. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. By the way, guys, I'm out of time. I don't because there's no Goldie show after. I forgot that I was supposed to leave now. But guys, remember, I know people on YouTube watching, so let me. You guys already know this, but let me say for the people on YouTube, when I leave and when we stop the streaming, you guys can continue the conversation without me for hours. This room does not close when I leave, and there will be no more time limits after I leave. So it will become the conversation becomes a lot more organic. You guys call it the after show or the after party? What do you guys call it when I leave? The fun I don't know what is. Do you have a name for it? The after show, right? The after party. Okay, so it's the after party. So we have 2 hours of it being recorded and live streamed at the same time, and after 2 hours, I leave and everybody else continues, right? So actually, let me stop the recording here. Oh, yeah. Yes, and let me just say to everybody. No, let me first stop the recording before I say that. Sorry, guys, I haven't been streaming this and recording at the same time, so I'm trying to get used to this new format, but I'm getting better at it. Okay, so once the recording stops, I'll say my. Okay, all right, guys, this was fun. Let me know in the YouTube, also in the comment sections, what do you think? Do you like it now that we're live streaming this on YouTube as well? And yeah, I'm about to head out. So I'm Israel Chai. Long live America, Javid Shah, Payande Iran. See you guys same time tomorrow. All right, guys. Bye.
I can't stay long, but I'd like to give you an update of what I'm watching and seeing in both Russia and China.